Got one idea that I'm especially psyched out of my mind about. You know, it's one of those ideas where you're just like, yes!
Human sacrifice, dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria.
Dave Flynn?
On the radio.
Hold on to your butts.
Hey there, welcome to Dave Flynn on the radio, the #1 blogcast on the internet. I'm Dave Flynn, and since reading is hard, I'm going to do it for you. Here we go. Part 2 of The Plus, our 5-part series on artificial intelligence. If you missed part 1, working with the robots, I'd suggest you head back and get yourself oriented, or just charge on in, confused, like most folks. Because today we're moving forward, and we've got a bit of a warning for you. Remember, part 1 was called Working with the Robots, not arbitrarily hand off every task and thought to your new overlords. Although, now that I say it, it does have a ring to it. You've got a role to play. That is the point of the plus. But what happens if you hand off just a bit too much? If you don't do your part? That is what we'll cover today. In the blogcast, we're going to lean into lessons from the Artemis mission, a trip to REI with me and the boy, and a hard choice you can make to keep your edge and keep being the plus. As the old saying goes, life is a use it or lose it proposition. You can find more stories and essays like this over at winwithflynn.com. But if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's jump into the show. The Plus, Part 2, The Atrophy Problem. On April 14th, 2026, the Artemis II splashed down in the Pacific after its lap around the moon. The crew had traveled deeper into space than any human ever had. They'd rekindled the desire to explore, to search deeper into space, and to return to the moon. The training for this mission was rigorous, more so than its Apollo predecessors. For nearly 3 years, the 4-person crew went through it all. Orion simulators, T-38 jet training, geology field expeditions in Iceland and Hawaii, emergency egress drills, and countless hours on a custom-built flywheel resistance machine designed specifically to keep their bones and muscles from wasting in space. NASA knew the body breaks down up there, and they prepared for it. And even so, only Victor Glover walked off the deck. The other 3 needed support. Reed Weissman, Christina Koch, and Jeremy Hansen, 3 career astronauts, needed Navy crews to wheel them out. 10 days without gravity, 10 days without bearing weight, and 3 out of 4 were carried off the ship. Their leg muscles had atrophied, from able-bodied to not, in just 10 days. Your brain works the same way. Researchers at MIT wanted to take a closer look. In 2025, Natalia Kosmina and her team wired up 54 adults with EEG headsets and asked them to write essays, some using ChatGPT, some using a search engine, and some with no tools at all. Over 4 months, the group using ChatGPT showed the weakest brain connectivity. By the end, they weren't really writing essays at all. They were copy-pasting. The researchers called it cognitive debt. When the ChatGPT users were moved to the no tools group for a final session, their brains still couldn't quite engage. The effects lingered. 10 days on the Dragon, 10 days without bearing weight, and legs stopped being legs. 4 months of letting AI write your essays, not holding ideas in your head long enough to shape them, and the idea muscle wasted accordingly. Convenience removes the lift. It removes the burden. And in short order, it removes the ability. Try to be funny when you can't come up with the words. Try to be useful when you can't construct a coherent thought. What robot is going to want to plus you? The lost sense of direction. A few weeks ago, my son and I were on our way to REI. He needed a new inner tube. I needed nothing. I just love going to REI, but that's beside the point. We were chatting and listening to music, and I missed my turn. So we bobbed and weaved through a few neighborhoods, a few more wrong turns, all in the general direction of REI, but not optimized, and we made it. At each wrong turn, my son would gasp, "Why don't you just use Google Maps?" "Because I know the way," I said. And of course, I did know the way, not turn by turn, but the direction. It worked. But to his generation, every route has been plotted, measured, color-coded, and optimized. A sense of direction has been lost. A basic human survival skill squashed. For most, basic navigation isn't a skill they've honed. It's just the residue of paying attention. The landmarks, the cardinal direction, the relationship between intersections. Over time, you just kind of get a feel for it. You sense the downhill slope towards water, the direction of the rising sun, the proximity to mountain peaks. But take the attention away, and the skill never forms. When the tires are pumped, it's an amazing thing to ride bikes around town and watch him see things for the first time. Watch him understand that there are different ways to get where you're going. You can almost see his brain growing in real time. Train the muscle. The fix is unsexy. Practice paying attention. Sit in a theater with one screen. No phone. Read a real book all the way through. Meditate. Climb something. Take batting practice. Write down 10 ideas a day. Cook a meal that takes 3 hours. Go for a long walk without a podcast. Watch Jeopardy and shout the answers at the TV. Any activity that asks you to hold something in your head longer than a TikTok video is doing the job. What's wasting the muscle is the opposite. YouTube Shorts, infinite scroll, multitasking. Each one is a small surrender. They add up to a brain you can't trust in a pinch. These practices do something else too. They give your mind the kind of long, quiet space where ideas have time to collide. The book talks to the problem you're sitting with. The walk surfaces the thing you couldn't quite think of at your desk. And the shower delivers the answer the laptop wouldn't. Notice that convenience kills the conditions where those collisions happen. Jerzy Gregorick said it best: easy choices, hard life. Hard choices, easy life. The robots can translate any language for you. They can also teach you any language. The robots can take on your manual work. They can also work alongside you. Same tool, two completely different uses. Resistance training isn't just for the gym, it's for the psyche. Train yourself to resist the easy choice, knowing the easy choice leads to a hard life. Stay capable of doing the inconvenient. Then, once you've kept your edge, you can pick up the robot. But take the first swipe. Create your version. Then bring it to the robot for suggestions. Never the other way around, because once the robot has created a draft or a prototype, you cannot unsee it. It's very difficult to come up with something new and different after that kernel, that seed, has taken root. You'll think, oh, that sounds pretty sharp. Yeah, looks good. That'll do the trick. And when you return a day or two later, you'll wonder, who the hell came up with it and why? But by then, the seed, it's planted, and your own thinking has been preempted. So draft it up first, all by yourself, always. The plus weakens when humans stop carrying a cognitive load. And there's a specific kind of load only humans can carry. There we have it. That's the pod. Thank you for listening. If you like what you hear, please share it with a friend. Give it a thumbs up. And if you've got a few extra seconds, give it a 5-star review on Apple or Spotify or wherever you are listening. The engagement will make you feel so good, and it'll help other people find the show. Thanks again for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.
All right, there you go, America. I love you. I'm proud of you. I mean it.
We gotta go.
We gotta go.